Hello students, welcome to this Google Apps for Education video tutorial. In this tutorial, we will focus on the Google Forms app. So today in this tutorial, I'm going to launch from this screen from your Google Drive. Okay, so remember to get to your Google Drive, you have to log into BYOD and then you have to go to your Google Drive. Okay, so once you're in Google Drive, there are a number of ways to start a new form. In the top left-hand corner, you can go to New, and then you can scroll down and go to More, and then Google Forms should be one of the options. Okay? Another way you can do it is you can go to the Apps Launcher, and then you should see Google Forms. Okay? Once I got to Google Forms, I bookmarked it and put it in my bookmarks bar, so it's very easy for me to start a new Google form. Okay? Okay, so let's click on Google Forms, and this is what it looks like. Now I have a number of Google Forms that I've created in the past. You're probably not going to have any down here, so we're just going to start with Start a New Form. Okay? Now there are different options here, so we can explore these options by going More. Okay? So we have certain things that teachers use. Okay? But we can just create our own. You can have a look at all of the different options that we have. Okay, some interesting options like party invitations or RSVPs. Okay, but let's just create our own. So we're going to go to a blank form. Okay, so I've got a topic for you today, and we're all going to start with this topic. Okay, so what I want to do is Google Forms allows me to collect data. So what I'm interested in is I want to know what kind of, how many students have their own device and what students are using their devices for. Okay, so basically I'm going to create a small survey here. Okay, so for the title of this form, I'm going to title it Device Survey. Device Survey. Okay, all right. Let's go to question 1, untitled question. So if I click on here, it'll open up here, untitled question. Okay, so my first question, I'm going to type it in is, a very simple one, do you own your own device? Question mark. Do you own your own device? Okay, so to the right, it allows us to choose the type of question you're going to use for that question. Okay, so I've got a drop-down menu and I've got a number of choices. I can answer with a short answer, a paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop-down, linear scale, multiple choice grid, and I can choose if I have a question that requires a specific date as an answer or a specific time as an answer. Okay, so for this question, I'm going to use the check boxes option. So I'm going to click on check boxes. Okay, and then for my first option is going to be yes. And then for my second option, it's going to be no. Okay, and that's really how you're going to get your survey started, because let's face it, if you don't own your own device, a lot of the questions that will follow are not really relevant. Okay, all right, in the bottom right hand corner, I'm going to click on required. So this is a required question that everyone must answer. Okay, all right, so that's the first question. We're going to start easy. All right, let's click on, we got a panel on the right here. We've got a number of options. So I'm just going to click add a question. So I'm going to add a question. Okay, so question 2. Okay, question 2. So I'm going to type, what type of device is it? What type of device is it? Okay. All right. So for this type of question, I want to use a different option, and I'm going to choose the drop-down option. Now, in a survey, you don't have to use multiple options. It's just I'm trying to show you that there are multiple options provided. So let's go to drop-down. Okay. So option 1. So let's call this smartphone. So in other words, if you own a device, what type of device is it? The first option, smartphone. I'm going to click on option 2, It's going to become highlighted. I'm going to type in tablet. And option 3, I'm going to click on add option, and I'm going to type in laptop. And then for option 4, it's kind of its own unique category, and that is iPod Touch. Okay, iPod Touch is not really a phone, it's not really a tablet. Okay, it's kind of in between a tablet, a phone, and a personal computer. All right, option 5. You may have used one last year. You may have seen some of your teachers have one. Let's type in Chromebook. Add an option 6. Let's type in netbook. And a lot of these kind of multiple choice kind of questions, even though it's technically not a multiple choice question, it is you're choosing from a number of different choices. We should add the option other in case there's anything, any type of device that you haven't really thought of that you haven't included in your survey question. Okay? So that takes care of question 2. So let's add another question. On the right-hand panel, let's add a question. Okay? So for question 3, let's type in this question. What brand of device do you use? What brand of device do you use? And you notice that I didn't set question 2 as a mandatory question, because if you don't have a device, then you can't really answer this question, can you? But for this question, what brand of device do you use? Everyone can answer this question because it's not worded. If I had worded it, what brand of device do you own? Then if you didn't have your own device, then you can't really answer this question. Okay, so for the question 3, let's choose the option multiple choice. Okay, multiple choice. All right, so for option 1, let's type in Apple. Okay, and an interesting feature is you can add a little graphic or picture beside each option. So let's have a little fun with this. So let's click on the add an image square here. Let's click on that, and that'll take us to this option. Now, if you've already kind of saved these pictures, you can go to your Google Drive, or you can do a search. So if I go to the search option, and in the Google search window, I can type in Apple logo, and then I can click on the search button here. It'll give me a number of options. So you can choose the option you like. I'm going to choose just the plainest one, and then I'm going to click select. You notice how it's check marked here, and then I'm going to click the select button in the bottom left-hand corner. So let's click on select, and that should import that picture there. Okay, so let's add a second multiple choice option. Okay, and let's add in Samsung. Samsung. Okay, let's do the same thing. Let's add an image. Click on add an image button. Let's go to the search option, and in the search window, let's type in Samsung logo. Samsung logo. Let's click on search. Okay, we have a number of options here, so you can pick the one that you like. I'm going to click on the first one. It'll be check marked in blue, and then I will select. Okay, so let's give the people doing our survey a few more options. So I'm going to add another option, and I'm going to type in HTC, HTC, and then I'm going to click on add an image, and I'm going to search, and let's type in HTC logo, click on search. All right, here we go, HTC. Okay, it becomes highlighted, check mark in blue, and then I'm going to select. Okay, there we go. All right, let's add another option. Let's add LG, LG. And then let's click on add an image. Same thing, let's click on search, and let's type in LG logo. And then let's click on search. All right, so I can go with the letters here, or I can just go with the actual logo. So I kind of like that. I did the same thing with Apple. So I'm going to click on that one to select it, and then click select. Okay, so a lot of these seem to be smartphones, so I better add a couple options that deal with laptops and netbooks and Chromebooks. Okay, so what if I type add an option, and what if I type Sony? Sony, and then I click on add image, go to search, I'm going to type in Sony logo. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I can click on the first one, Sony, and then click select. Okay. All right, so let's add a few more, just a few more. So what if I add option, and what if I type in Asus, okay? And then I type, and then I click on add an image, search, Asus logo, click search. All right, so here we go, Asus, and then click select. Now there's so many different brands that you can add, so you don't want to add like 50 different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just group all of the other options, add an option as other. Okay. Now at any time, if you're composing a question and then you get to the end of it and you realize, you know what, that's really not a good question, you can always trash it. You can delete that question. All right, so because we worded this question, what brand of device do you use? I can make this a required question. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this, required. All right, let's add another question. So add a question. Okay. All right, so the fourth question is, what are the things you use your device for? What are the things you use your device for? Okay. All right, in the bottom right hand corner, this is going to give me a few more options. So let's explore here. So what's in here? Okay. All right, so this is a good option to have. So I'm going to go to description. So I'm going to have a description of this question. So I can add certain instructions. So the instructions I'm going to add are check all the boxes that apply. So in other words, you can click on more than one option here. Okay? Check all the boxes that apply. Now, because I use this kind of vocabulary, that should give you a hint of the kind of question I want to add. So I'm going to make this a check boxes question. So I'm going to click on check boxes. Okay? All right. Option 1. Okay? So a lot of having a good survey is thinking of really good questions. So you have to kind of anticipate the type of answers that you might get. So if I am conducting a survey for grades 6, 7, and 8 students about their devices, I have to think, okay, so what are those students going to be using those devices for? Okay, so option number 1 is communicating with friends. Okay, so that means email, texting, video texting, whatever. Okay, communicating with friends. All right, we're going to add another option here. The second option is watching videos and or listening to music. Okay, so that's going to be our second option. The third option, option 3, is going to be schoolwork. Let's face it, we encourage students to bring their devices so that they can use them in their learning. All right, let's add an option. And let's put taking photos or videos. Taking photos or videos. We're going to add a fifth option, and that is, you've probably been waiting for this one, playing games. And we're going to add one more option here, and that is reading. And we should probably add the option, the catch-all option called other. Okay? Okay, so we're going to add one last question. So let's go add question. Okay? Okay, so the last one is, how much time do you spend using your device in a day? How much time do you spend using your device in a day? Now, the only reason why I put this question, even though it's very interesting, because if I were to survey the students, I'd probably be shocked, is I can introduce you to another type of question. Okay? So from the right panel, from our options, let's choose a linear scale. A linear scale. Now we see this type of linear scale question in a lot of surveys in which it asks us, are you satisfied, or how satisfied are you in so and so and so and so. Okay, so let's go to linear scale. So I've got a scale of 5. You can change it. You can have a scale of 10, 4, 3. I'm going to leave it at 5. Okay, and it allows us to give us labels for the first and last option. So for the first option, I'm going to type in less than 1 hour. So that's going to be 1, less than 1 hour. And then for the last label, number 5, I'm going to say more than 5 hours. So if you were to take this survey, you would have to estimate where you fell in between these two extremes. Less than an hour and more than 5 hours. Okay? All right, so we can make this a required question because it's basically asking you how much time do you spend using a device. Okay, so let's click on required question. Okay, so in the top left-hand corner, we have the actual title of the file that's saved in your Google Drive. Okay, so what we're going to do here is if you click on it, it should automatically appear the title of your survey. Okay, so we're just going to add one thing in front here, tutorial. Okay, that way when you actually create your own survey, you can clearly identify this one as the one that you did in the tutorial video. Okay, all right, so there's a couple more things we can do. Let's look at the top panel here. Okay, so we can click on color palette and you can change the color palette, but you can also get a little bit more elaborate. In the bottom right hand corner, there's one more option here. If we click on it, and then you can choose different themes that will kind of be on the header of your survey. So you can have all of these different options. Okay, I'm just going to go to other, and then I'm just going to pick something that I think looks cool. Okay, again, you can take the time to look through them, but again, I'm not sure that I'm going to get one that matches the content of my my survey here. Okay, so I'm just going to pick something that I find is very interesting. Okay, so how about something like this? Okay, I can click on this and I can click select. It should change in a matter of seconds. Okay, now for the options here, for the settings I should say, okay, there's a lot of things that we can look at, but we're not going to look at them right now. Okay, I just wanted you to be aware that there were settings here that you can change. Okay, I'm just going to click cancel. All right, so the last thing is we're going to go to preview, and this will give you an idea of how your survey, how your form is going to look when it's sent to other people. Okay, so as we scroll down, we can have a look here. We can test all of the options. We see that our logos came out very nicely. Very good. And again, scroll through your survey. And then you'll notice that when you send it out, there's going to be a submit button here. And that, of course, is for the people taking your survey to submit their responses so that you can gather that data. Okay, so this concludes this video tutorial on the Google Forms app. Thanks for watching. Bye.